Welcome into our overtime segment here at SportsSource.tv. Happy to have you joining in with this. I am joined on the set by VFLs and a non-VFL down there. I'm a TVFL. You're an Internet FL, I guess.
IFL.
Good IFLs. We have Sterling Hinton, Daniel Hood, Shazan Bradley, Ryan Callahan from GoVols247.com. This segment brought to you by Blue Smoke Cigars, and right now they have a huge event coming up on Tuesday night. The owner and master blender for Foundation Cigars will be at Blue Smoke Cigar from 4 to 8 p.m. Buy 5 single sticks, get a 6th one free. Buy a box, get 15% discount on another box. The more boxes you buy, the bigger the discount on the other boxes becomes. Foundation Cigars, by the way, produced one of Cigar Aficionado's top 25 cigars for 2016. So one of the top 25 cigars of the year was produced by this master blender and owner who's coming to Blue Smoke Cigar Tuesday for the big event. Get out there, 4 to 8 p.m. If you enjoy a cigar, it's a cool event. It's a cool place to go. Check it out. Do me a favor. Blue Smoke Cigar. All right. Guys, I'm going to run through some questions and topics that were sent in via Twitter before and during today's show. We'll try and get through a lot of these because the Patriots play at 1, and I don't want to keep our crew here either. It's mainly about me and the Patriots. All right. Did Butch Jones put Jarrett Garantano in as a desperation move to save his job?
No, that's not a desperation move. That's just trying to get some spark in your offense. And he's an exceptional quarterback. We have 2 guys that can play the position. Now I just have to give him a little more help. I think other people have to step up to make that whole offense progress.
I think it's a desperation move, but I don't think it's to save your job. I think it's to save your offense. Dormity's had way too many turnovers this year. You know,
6 interceptions and 2 fumbles.
Every person in America will tell you the number 1 stat to win a football game is turnovers. Well, if you're turning it over 8 times, you're not going to win football games.
I think it's a little bit of both. I think you're trying to turn around the offense and get things going, but you're also looking at what you could sell to maybe keep your job. And I think one of the things you can look at is, hey, if we turn this thing around, win 5 of our last 7 games, and have a young quarterback to build off of, that gives you a chance. So I think it's a little bit of both.
I think you're right. I think it's a little of both.
I think it's Butch being Butch. I mean, I've never seen him quit, nor have I ever saw the players play for him quit. He's a fighter, man.
So you okay? All right. Jarrett Garantano. Somebody asked me, is he the next great UT quarterback if he gets the right coaching? Have you seen? Look, you beat out Ohio State to get the guy, and I think Urban Meyer knows a little something about quarterbacks. I think there's talent there. I don't know that this is going to be received well. I don't know that this is fair. But whether it's Dormity or Garantano, I wonder if they wouldn't look better if they had David Cutcliffe as a quarterback's coach. Now, that's like taking that's a quarterback guru. He's going to make a lot of guys look better.
Right.
But I don't know if I've seen enough from these guys that tells me, and granted, as I said during the show, they've been handcuffed because a lot of guys around them, the receivers aren't helping them. They don't have their first read isn't always there. Sometimes the second read isn't there. The line has its issues at times. Your run game stalls out. They're not getting a lot of help. But I haven't seen enough out of these guys to say I trust in their development with this staff. Not right now.
I agree with you, and I go back to I was able to work with Coach Matthews at Catholic, who's an NFL quarterback, and to learn a lot of the mechanics of it. And I think when you watch, Dobbs last year, you watch Dormady, who's 3 years in the program, you watch Garantano now, just the timing of the routes, the mechanics of the throw, and all the other little stuff that Coach Matthews would teach the high school quarterbacks just doesn't fit with what you're seeing over there.
That's their position. That position of quarterback, you can't handcuff your quarterback one, but you can assume certain things because every quarterback has different intricacies about how they have success at the position. So, I think both of the guys are talented. I know Jared. I know his father. I've known him since he was a young kid. Watched him mature. I think Dormady has a lot of upside also. We just have to. One thing about offense is all about continuity. You have to coalesce and become one when you're on there to be successful, especially against a great SEC defense.
Yeah, I think Dormady looked like he had lost confidence throughout as it got worse on the offense, which I think I would have too if I were in his shoes. That's not a knock. I just think that's a reality. I think that when you look at a Dormady or a Garantano, I think there's talent there. I just don't know that I don't know that this group can get it past a certain level. Somebody says, could Garantano be the next great quarterback coach, or the next great quarterback with proper coaching? With proper coaching, I think so. I don't know if he's getting proper coaching.
Maybe. I mean, I think it was a good debut, what we saw from him against South Carolina, but at the same time, I think there's a lot he's still got to work on. So much of it is about how you develop once you get to college, and I think he's staring down his options too long, looking downfield, not feeling pressure. Yeah, same as Dormady. He's not feeling pressure. He got sacked 7 times, and a few of those were on him.
And a couple of those were because he held on to the ball for a while, which could be receivers not open, and also for a start, you may not be as confident in just seeing it and whipping it.
Game speed is the only thing you cannot mimic in practice. You can try to, but when people coming down at you at the quarterback position, you're standing there, and they got bad attitudes like Shazan and Daniel Hood when he put his helmet on. I promise you cannot mimic that in practice.
The other thing I was going to say, it's easy to assume that a certain coach could get something out of a certain player. The bottom line is quarterbacks are more hit and miss than any position in recruiting, and having 3 top-notch quarterbacks sometimes doesn't even guarantee you that one of them is going to be great. So look at Alabama, how many top-notch quarterbacks they recruit, how many of them turn out to be as good as they're billed to be. So it's all about development, and sometimes certain staffs click with certain guys, but I don't think there's any guarantee either of these guys will be great with the right coaching. They just got to keep working.
It's also hit or miss on whether or not you can. More than any, you're seeing more transfers now than ever before, and we all know the rumor that was out there this week that, whether it was a rumor or not, it's confirmed that Dormady was not happy about losing his spot. How much coaxing it took to keep him around is one thing. I used to be down on anybody that would transfer like that, but quarterback is such a unique position. And you look around, somebody said, well, if quarterback leaves in the middle of the season, that's a sign of real problems. Alabama last year, when Hurts got the job, they had, 3 5-stars transfer? 3 5-star quarterbacks left Alabama because somebody else got the job. So right now, to be honest with you, I would probably stay with Garantano because he's got 4 years here. Mm-hmm. And what's crummy about that, what is really crappy about that, is Quentin Dormady stayed here. He never blinked. He worked hard. Waited his turn, and now because the offense stinks, part of that's on him, part of it's on a lot of guys around him. Now it's possible he could lose his job simply because he did all the right things and he's the older guy. That's rough.
People are wondering now, though, if he's leaving. I don't see, from his standpoint, much benefit to leaving now. I think if there's going to be a coaching change, maybe you wait around and see how it goes.
See if you can be the guy next year under a new guy, if that happens.
Then you also got to look at how many quarterbacks we've lost in the last 8 years that just went somewhere else and done well.
Yeah. Well, Ferguson, I thought it was interesting. His father came out and popped off a little this week and then apologized for it. Ferguson, it's not like he got out of Tennessee. They said it's good we got out of that dumpster fire. Well, the stories I've heard, it sounded like Ferguson was a bit of a dumpster fire himself over there when he left. Mm-hmm. There were some off-field issues that played a role in that. So that can happen. Nathan Peterman, he did get out of here and turned his career around, and part of that was Jim Chaney helped him turn it around as well. But if you saw him against that Florida defense in the swamp, I don't think there was anybody. I don't remember anybody crying when Nathan Peterman transferred from here.
The question I almost have too is if you look at your quarterback's first starts that we've had over the past couple of years, Peterman, Dobbs' first start against Missouri, to Garantano's, to Dormady's, which one's really had the best one there? I think it's a good debate because you can say Garantano's probably second or first on that.
It was the no turnovers was unique. We did this on our Friday show on Fox, and you didn't have any turnovers, which is a start. 170 or his passing number 11-18. His passing numbers were kind of average for the most part, but no touchdowns. That one, most of those guys who've done it have had a touchdown. Anyway, all right. Somebody asked about top 5 coaching targets. Look, everybody has different lines. Everybody, there are plenty of people that say, "Fire him, bring in another guy." I tend to look at it and say, would I want somebody sitting on a television show saying, fire that host of that show and bring in these 5 hosts? Mm-hmm. I'm not going to go there. I think you know where I stand on this at this point. I don't think me calling for a head is going to make John Curry go, what? Pennington says go? Sorry, Butch, get out. So I'm not going to go there, and I don't believe in me personally. I don't want to run through targets while a man's still got his job. Now, if there's an announcement made, we'll run through a silly list of targets, like everybody else will have their silly list that won't tell us a thing because nobody last time said, well, they're going to go to Gundy first. There's always something out there that you don't know. So we'll do that when the time is there. If any of you want to jump in with your top 5 target list, you can. That's just not my thing.
Oh, no.
I agree with that.
Somebody got mad at Garantano for slamming his helmet on that on the incompletion to end the game, saying that's a baby move. I liked it.
I did too. He's competitive. He's upset. Here's my first game at the University of Tennessee, and I've messed around, and we lost it.
Yeah, missed it by
Yes,
that much.
that much. I mean,
Catch.
that's a competitor, and I mean that's, you know, you got 100,000 people yelling and screaming. You're trying to check off. I mean, it's a lot going on.
For a first-time starter,
My thing is this, you know, if anyone who's upset for Jared slamming his helmet, imagine you dreaming your entire life for a moment to win a game on the last play, going into the end zone with 1 second left on the clock, and you think you've done your job to the best of your ability to make sure that thing happened, and then something else happens when it doesn't happen. How would you feel? How would you react?
Yeah, and I didn't take it that he was slamming his helmet in
Oh,
anger
no.
at that. I thought it looked like slamming and disappointment.
wanted to win.
We could have done more. Yeah.
He wanted to win, and that's fire. And we can work with that fire. We
Yeah,
can work
I don't
with
have
that
a problem
fire.
with passion.
Oh, man.
Now, you go back. Here's what I had problems with Tyler Bray doing this nonsense and doing this to the opponent. You do something like that, that's one thing. You throw your helmet down because you just lost a game and you're hurt. I'm not going to criticize that ever.
No, I like that he
Time to
showed some
live for.
passion like you, and I was impressed that after the game in the post-game press conference, he showed emotion. He was first of all genuinely thankful for the opportunity to start, it sounded like, and he had to wait his turn, so I think there was some sincerity to that. And then on top of that, he was emotional that he missed out on the chance to win. It meant a lot to him. And how much different would what we're talking about today be if he completes that final pass? It would change everything.
Oh, yeah.
It would change the look of how he played in that game, even he led a last-minute comeback. Yeah. So it was a big deal, and it meant a lot to him.
All right. Somebody asked, can Tennessee score against Alabama?
A touchdown?
Yeah, I think if it's a touchdown, I'm going to say no right off the bat. Can they kick a field goal?
If Alabama's punt returner keeps dropping punt returns like he did last night, they might get a field goal.
I mean, look, if you hadn't scored in 10 quarters, you hadn't scored a touchdown in 10 quarters, Alabama is not the team you want to go try and break your streak against.
Maybe we're saving it all up for him.
Yeah, it's been 6 weeks of
Maybe we're
vanilla.
saving it all up for him.
It's somebody said that on Twitter. It's the longest rope-a-dope in history of sports.
You got to look at the thing. It all starts up front with the offensive and defensive line. Then, as a quarterback, and it goes to your receivers. I mean, we have good receivers that are position tall receivers. We don't have any short receivers that can go out there and just break it off and get wide open. And you got young quarterbacks. It's hard to, you want to try to throw him open. And it's just hard to do when you have receivers that are not coming open. So what do you do?
Well, that's actually part two of the question here. Are the receivers too big? Everybody, you look at the pros, you've got the big receivers. Everybody likes having that big receiver. But Sterling, you usually have a munchkin or two to go around with the big receivers.
You can't have all Megatrons out there at the same time. You can't have all Randy Moss out there at the same time. You got your Wes Welkers. You got your guys that's in the middle that's slicing through the middle and getting that mismatch versus a will linebacker or strong safety to where he's breaking on for the 6-yard, 7-yard completion. Or maybe you get some motion with your tight end, have a linebacker trying to chase your tight end for that 6-yard, 7-yard completion.
I was just going to ask you this. They're going to face, they've had such struggles with press coverage all year. To beat press coverage, slants and your slot receivers, you're counting on them to try and get those quick underneath route. Slot receiver position hasn't gotten it done this year. And the other way you can try and beat it, crossing routes with tight ends underneath. And you're not getting that either. I mean, your tight ends just are non-existent in terms of
we
passing
would do
game.
to beat press coverage, and those that dared to press us when I played with them incredible receivers.
Yeah,
I had
you
opportunity
Carl
to play
Pickens,
with.
Allen
keep
Harper.
it going.
Yeah.
The list is incredible. But we would take our X receiver or Z receiver off the ball, motion zip zap, and then make sure that cornerback is on the island by himself and not stable.
Right.
He's got turbulence. So if you catch him leaning, hoping we had option routes in the outcuts, and do some things like that. There are things to beat press coverage because the person that has the hardest job of holding the press is the inside guy, the strong safety or the nickel back. If he presses and we got that corner on the island, oh baby.
But we also had a kid by the name of Jacquez Bruce that could definitely do that, and we ended up losing him. There's a guy down the west named Isaiah Gibb.
All right, we're not running the
Isaiah
recruiting
Gibb.
school here.
What I'm saying is we have guys in this area that can do what we need them to do.
Well, I mean, Josh Smith is there. Tyler Bird, I don't know what his situation is in terms of last year looked like he was going to be something. This year, he's had He's had some injuries, but at the same time,
and that's the thing with Josh. I think Josh hasn't recovered from those severe injuries.
yeah, he's had injuries his whole career. Poor guy.
They have guys on the roster who are designed to do that very thing. They've got Jaquez Jones, a true freshman who's out for the year. Latrell Williams has missed time with an injury. They've had some guys get hurt, and they've had some guys transfer. Obviously, that's been a factor too. But I think they've not quite recruited well enough at that position. You look at they're just not fast enough and dynamic enough in a lot of cases to get open. And some of it's coaching, some of it's athleticism though, and they've got to get quicker. They don't have a 6'5" Adonis out there on the perimeter either. It's a bunch of 6'2" guys that aren't getting open for the most part.
Can I make the last quote?
Yeah, you end it.
I'm ending. I want to get back to that statement about someone being upset with Garrett Town throwing his helmet. You know, here's a guy who's trying his best to win a game. And I remember my first time I got significant playing time against Boston College in 1987, and people saw me on TV crying. And then the Louisville defense said they got a crybaby freshman playing quarterback. Google it.
I say that every time after the show on Sundays.
Oh, when I be crying? Oh, man, what I'm saying. But it's just, what I'm saying is you got people that want to win. And that competitive nature in the moment, don't discount a man for giving all he has for one to win and being disappointed that he didn't. Because a man that's disappointed when he doesn't win will win a lot more games than he loses.
Very good. And emotion is one thing. I mean,
Yes.
taunting and nonsense and take your helmet off to celebrate. It's different. After a game, you're hurting. You show you're hurting. You wanted it. There's no complaining about that. Ryan Callahan, thank you. Shazon Bradley, thank you. Daniel Hood, thank you. Sterling Hinton, thank you, buddy. I know it's...
Yeah, we're going to be all right. We're going to be all right.
Thanks to Blue Smoke Cigar. Get out there Tuesday. It's a cool event, cool place. Thanks for supporting us week after week after week. I try and say it every week. Sometimes we run out of time on the TV show. We're in our 15th year. It looks like we're kind of on the verge of covering our 338th coaching search. But if it weren't for you and it weren't for our sponsors, and specifically it weren't for you supporting our sponsors, we wouldn't be here. So I thank you very much for giving us 15 years on the air, and we will see you right back on SportsSource.tv next week. We'll see you on Fox 43 on Saturday at 10:30 a.m. We'll see you on Channel 6 WATE at 11 a.m. next Sunday. See you then.